There you go. There you go. USB audio codec. There we go. We did it. And we're going to try and draft a true zero running back team. Boys. We got a Bijan Robinson. Why don't we try and turn the clock back? Why don't we try and live in a new realm? What if our 2022 version of ourselves, what if the 2021 version of ourselves is right? What if all the people who are drafting Derrick Henry, they're drafting Josh Jacobs, they're drafting ETN, which by the way, I shouldn't cast aspersions. I am doing this too. But something that I am worried about as we are drafting in all of these best ball drafts is simply this. What if we were right to begin with? What if we actually do need to be drafting these zero running back teams? What if this is the year that wide receiver scoring roars back? I'll tell you what. I certainly do not want to find myself in a position that it turns out that my deepest held beliefs about fantasy football as we begin this draft with Bijan Robinson were in fact correct, and I am actually laughably underexposed to zero running back teams. So we are going to try a couple different builds in the big board today. We are also going to hop over onto Fast Draft today. Let's see, how many do we need for a rabbit right now? So we have 7 out of 10 in a rabbit right now. So we're going to go do at least one rabbit over on Fast Draft on this stream today. But we're going to hang out for a while. We are going to draft some fantasy football teams. And I hope that we find and achieve some conclusions that, in fact, we were right. We were right. And it was okay to start draft wide receiver. We're going to try and do some extreme builds here today. So this is a very good point that Miles brings up, which is that zero running back historically was based on the first round being, 9 to 11 running backs. Let's just go pull up 2018 fantasy football ADP. I think you guys will be stunned to see what the first round was then. So here you go. We have 2018 PPR, 2018 PPR scoring. So this is from ESPN, RT Sports, and Fantrax. This was the first round then. Todd Gurley, David Johnson, Ezekiel Elliott, Antonio Brown, Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley, DeAndre Hopkins, Leonard Fournette, Kareem Hunt, Odell Beckham, and Melvin Gordon. So in the first round, there were 3 wide receivers and there were 9 running backs. By the time we got to pick 20, we were at the running back 12. By the time we got to pick 40, we were all the way down to running back 19. So 50% basically, I guess for what, 48%, 47% of the first round running of the top 40 picks were running backs. I mean, even now, all right, if we sort by ADP here, so we go to ADP 40, we have basically reached the equilibrium. We have basically we have gone all the way back to 2018. Travis Etienne, the running back 18, goes at pick 36. The running back 19, Cam Scadaboo, goes at pick 44. I mean, we are cavemen. We have gone back to the dawn of time. Yeah, Big Dog has been stuck at pick 40 for most of his life. Well, people forget he was in a timeshare with Dion Lewis all the way back then. But I think that this is startling stuff to have seen, to have seen the entire evolution of fantasy football to where everyone got keyed into zero running back, everyone got keyed into hero running back, and then see the sport itself evolve, because that's what this is all responding to. We have seen the sport itself evolve into a game where running is more efficient. Each of the last 2 seasons, running plays had a positive EPA. We're fighting back. We're fighting back, Chad. We are uncapitulating to the boomers. We are gonna fight back today. We're gonna draft some zero running back and some hero running back teams. There we go. Ooh, we already have 8 out of 10 filled over on Fast Draft. Promo code Davis will get you a $50 deposit bonus over there as well. With how good the receivers in that Wandale Godwin range is, being a boomer doesn't feel so bad. I mean, 100%. There are plenty of good fallback guys, but we're going to do it. We're going to take Rashi and we're going to take Olave. So we are going to disregard the sidekick there. I'm actually very curious some of the recommendations that the sidekick does give me here. Trying to do the zero running back team, my sense is it's going to hate it. It's gonna hate this team. You will need a lot of injuries, and you can't really do zero running back in pre-draft. See, I fully disagree with this. I think these contests are maybe even more ideal for zero running back because you are so much more likely to get a huge hit. Let me just give you a couple examples of this. So let's say Emmett Johnson is a second round pick to the New Orleans Saints. He then shoots up an ADP. James Conner is cut by the Arizona Cardinals and signs for the Minnesota Vikings, for example. He goes way up. Kenneth Gainwell just re-signs with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He goes up. J.K. Dobbins re-signs with Denver. He goes up. Katron Allen is a top 100 pick. Trey Benson is just the running back on his own. I said hero running back, Nick. Hero running back or zero running back. I think you can't not take Bijan when you're at one. RJ Harvey, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, Byshell Tootin are all really good examples of this last year. All right, Seton Waldhauer says, buddy of mine played at Eastern Tennessee State University with Jacob Sailors. I know Jacob Sailors. My buddy's going to his wedding in April. He said the team told him they're going to give him the rock. I mean, that is, we are very far downstream from any real information, but I love it. I love to hear it. That's the inside info that you're only getting on the Davis Maddock Fantasy Football stream in February. And that's why we're here. Do I think there's a chance that the 49ers entertain Mac Jones offers this offseason, or is he too good of a backup quarterback with pretty health concerns? I mean, if they get a second round pick, I am sure they would be happy to do it. Do I think they will get a second round pick? I don't think they will get a second round pick. But if they did, I think they would do it. Yeah, you know what? I mean, with the information, if you don't have at least one Jacob Sailors 20th rounder. Now, if I remember correctly, Jacob Sailors was a St. Louis Battlehawk, and I think he was quite good. The UFL, do we have UFL stats? Yeah, I'm almost certain on this actually. Can I get rushing stats from 2024 in the UFL? I was correct. Jacob Sailor, 113. Wow, led the UFL in Day Hunter and Jacob Sailors tied for rushing attempts. And Jacob Sailors tailed only Jashawn Corbin. There you go. Little bit of UFL. Oh, there you go. They can get a third for him, a third comp for him if they leave him. Yeah, Ricky Person sighting. You got to know the lore there. All right, so we are up. I really would have liked to have taken Colson Loveland here, but let's just embrace it. Let's do one Igbuka, and then let's back him up with Carnell Tate. So we are at Bijan Robinson, Rashi Rice, Chris Olave, Emeka Igbuka, and Carnell Tate. We are putting the superhero cape on, and we are happy. We are happy to be doing it. I mean, these teams do just feel really nice. And yeah, guy cannot stop drafting Ohio State wide receivers. Ugh. It's funny is I actually generally have been lower on all of these guys as prospects. Igbuka, I was right about market at. Tate, I feel he's fine. He's okay. Can't stop slapping my hands. Slap it up. I had a dream about the Emeka Igbuka year 2 bounce back. I mean, what a strange season for Emeka Igbuka as a member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last year. He looked like the guy you absolutely had to have. Doesn't even get to 1,000 yards despite not missing any time. I mean, you would have bet it all the way he started. He starts 4 for 67 and 2, 4 for 29 and 1, 6 for 85, 4 for 101 and 1, 7 for 163 and 1. And then basically his last good game. I mean, he ended the season about as bad as it's going to get. He goes 2 for 24, 4 for 58 on 12 targets, 3 for 35, blows up against New England with 6 for 115 and 1, and then does not top. Well, I mean, he didn't top 8.5 PPR points. I guess he got 10.4. So tops 10.4 points once from week 10 to week 17. He did, dude. Emeka Egbuka got frame mogged by Jalen McMillan while he was Jester gooning. There's no doubt about it. I mean, yes, he got hurt and all that stuff, but I don't know, man. McMillan looked good. All right, Clay says as a Buckeye, he just wants to say that Tate is pretty good. Well, the slap model does like Carnell Tate. I'll give you that. Uh Well, every team has Xavier Worthy written over on it. Ben is asking me, can he convince me of round 20 Hollywood? I mean, I'm not gonna he will be in the NFL next year. All right. Actually, I did not think this was gonna happen, but Mike Evans is being suggested to us here by the sidekick. Now I'm wondering if it's gonna want us to take Fannin or if it's gonna say you absolutely gotta take Jalen Warren here. So we're gonna take Fannin and really set up the hero running back build because again, a huge part of the zero running back stuff is you want to win the onesies. You absolutely want to be winning the onesie positions when you do this hero zero running back build, and Fannin is definitely going to help us win the onesie. Ideally, we'd be able to get Dart or Mahomes on this team, but probably not going to be doable at 96, 97. People are saying Mendoza in the how does this exercise? Uh People layer Mendoza in the 2025 draft to say be the fourth quarterback off the board. How does this exercise work with the 26 wide receivers later on top of the 24-25? Well, I would have to pull the slap model up. What I can say is I'm at a um difficult point in the slap model right now where all the scores themselves are done, but I'm doing some very deep math that I only uh partially understand. And because I only partially understand it, it is going very slowly. You guys can see the issue with the scores I have right now. So over the weekend, I totally reworked a bunch of stuff in the slap model, and the data is all good, but the numbers themselves need to be calibrated a little bit more, as in like the actual slap number. So I can tell you this. I can tell you that the 26 wide receivers, I can say Tyson is way up there. His age adjusted stuff is way up there. He would be a lot better than the 2025, 2024 guys, other than Neighbors and Harrison. Tet was above him. Rome was above him. Carnell Tate looks like kind of an all timer. And then Makai Lemon, Denzel Boston, Concepcion, a marked bit worse, although still look a pretty decent score, age adjusted for Concepcion. So but yeah, we are reworking it. Well, I am letting AI do the math, but AI is okay, 1 second. All right. So Jadarian Price is actually a great second running back in this build. We missed on all the elite quarterbacks here. So I think what I'm gonna do, no surprises, I'm just gonna take Worthy here, and then I think we're just gonna be done at wide receiver. And I might even take 4 quarterbacks on this team. Uh I would be surprised for mathematical models to actually like Makai Lemon that much because the when you are doing research in which you work backwards from Like you back test based on what has been successful in the NFL, what you will find is that one of the strongest things is age-related breakout and being an early declare. And Makai Lemon's age-adjusted production compared to specifically Tyson is quite poor. So I can show you exactly what I mean. So Makai Lemon is 20. Makai Lemon did not get above 18% dominator rating until his age 21 season. Now I agree with this. The eye test on Lemon, if just on eye test, Lemon would be my favorite. I actually completely agree with this, but I'm just saying if you're doing things mathematically, whereas Jordan Tyson. So if you look at Jordan Tyson, he had a 43% dominator rating as a true freshman, and then a 56%. Um, so his age related stuff is just going to make him look way better. And the same is true with Tate as well. Carnell Tate. So you can see Carnell Tate didn't break out until 2025, but he is a year younger than Makai Lemon. So his age adjusted production is just a little bit better. Injury risk does not factor into slap score at all. I don't know how you'd quantify that. I can tell you the stuff that goes into wide receiver scoring though. So what goes into the wide receiver score is age related breakout, teammate score. So basically if you go to a big school, like if you go to USC, if you go to Alabama, if you go to Ohio State, you get a teammate score. All right. So we're gonna do definitely not taking Woody Marks. So who's the top of my? You know what? Gainwell actually makes sense for this specific build. So let's take Gainwell and then see. We actually just need to take a quarterback. We missed out. We basically missed out on all our stacks. So let's just take Mendoza. It's just is gonna have to be what it is. And then we also have we have teammate score, and then early declare goes in as well. And then there for in my stuff there is a very small rushing production. Yes, teammate score. That's exactly what teammate score is. It's exactly what it is. It measures draft capital of your teammates. Draft capital or expected draft capital of your teammates. That is exactly what the teammate score is. Um, and then the last part is the rushing production. So in all of my testing, the correlation is there, and it's called a Spearman score. I'm learning things all the time. So the not a Spearman score. Spearman what? Spearman rank correlation coefficient, which, to quote the dictionary, is a non-parametric measure of a monotonic relationship between two variables ranging from -1 to +1, which is basically a fancy garbled way of saying, can we be certain that this correlation is true and non-noisy? So there you go. When it's true and non-noisy, then you can believe that the correlation holds. And then the other thing you have to test is the correlation the same as draft capital? If you divorce it from draft capital, does it become true? Spearmint score, how fresh a player's breath is. Yeah, people are saying it more and more. All right, so this is actually a great team to just take some of the running quarterbacks who people hate. So that is definitely what we're going to do. We are just going to snap off. We can take Cam Ward because we can stack him up later with Gunnar Helm. And then if we take Cam Ward, does it want me to take Bryce Young again? No, it wants me to go back to wide receiver, so I'm not going to do that. Yeah, you know what? Let's just take Dan Jones. So we have a Mendoza, Cam Ward, Daniel Jones quarterback room. I guess My mistake here is I should have just taken someone at the price worthy spot. I should have just taken Knicks. I should have just taken Mayfield. I got snapped off on Mayfield by an unstacked, uncorrelated drafter. So that's gonna happen sometime. Yeah, I've noticed that it's really difficult for quarterbacks who need to fall to the turns. It is pretty devastating. I completely agree. Is the 10 hole auto drafting? I've not looked, but I'm thinking given that they took 4, 8, yeah, the 4 hole or the 10 hole is auto drafting. Yeah, it's true. Worthy does always get me. It's so true. Uh yes, correct. All the post draft tournaments do not release until after the draft. As a Niners fan, why are people not taking Jordan James like they did with Guerrero last year? I assume because Guerrero was very good 2 seasons prior, and Jordan James did not get on the field at all. You know, when you can take Worthy as your 6th wide receiver over your first quarterback, you got to do it. I couldn't agree more. I simply couldn't agree more with you, brother. Using the Spearmint coefficient to compare capital projections for an investment equals $200,000 a year. Using it for BBM equals negative $3,750 a year. In a draft right now with that same 10 hole drafter, and they started the draft with 5 skate quarterbacks, then 3 tight ends. Well, let me send a message to all new me. What's this guy's username? Username TIS1015. Well, to get our stack here, so we're gonna add in Tajay Spears. So we built ourselves in a little stack. And then I think the sidekick might even tell us to take another quarterback. I'm wondering. AJ wants me to take AJ Barner. Well, I'm not going to do that. So I guess let's take Dalton Schultz, who I've ranked the highest of that group. Fine with me there. Am I going to rip some baseball? Probably not today. Maybe we'll do a members only tomorrow. The 3 quarterback meta has given permission to take quarterbacks helter skelter. Completely agree. Yeah, I actually completely agree with this. 2 more in the fast draft, by the way. If you guys want to fill the rabbit for me, the direct link to that draft room is pinned at the top of the chat. Does stacking matter at all in NBA and MLB drafts? Yeah, stacking is big time important in Major League Baseball. Definitely less important in NBA. I mean, obviously, playoff NBA is big. Guess you wouldn't really stacking in regular season NBA baseball probably doesn't matter that much. I saw a good rumor today on likely going back to or not going back, but going to the New England Patriots. Guess that's sort of interesting. All right, so this is where the team is at. Fernando Mendoza, Cam Ward, Daniel Jones. I just got killed at quarterback here. Bijan Robinson, Jadarian Price, Kenneth Gainwell, Tajay Spears. So hero Bijan. Rashi Rice, Chris Olave, Emeka Egbuka, Carnell Tate, Mike Evans, Xavier Worthy with Harold Fannin and Dalton Schultz. And honestly, as expected, Sidekick is telling me we needed to take 4 quarterbacks. Any pertinent rule changes being discussed this offseason? I believe I read that they are potentially going to rework the kickoffs again. That they might do another rule update to the dynamic kickoff from last season. I assume we will get one story. Damn, Gunnar Helm went. That is a bit annoying. I assume we will get at least one story about the tush push being banned yet again. Obviously, the tush push will not be banned, but people will talk about it again. Um, I don't know. I wonder if the league will do something point of emphasis wise. Yeah, you know what? Let's just go ahead and take JJ McCarthy here, and then one more running back, maybe a sidekick given Dylan Sampson. All right. So a Mendoza, Cam Ward, Daniel Jones, JJ McCarthy quarterback room. I think um there was some scuttlebutt about doing the UFL rule on this, where instead of the onside kick, it's like a I want to say it's a 4th and 15. Is that right? Fourth and 15. Wow, our dude Paul with a very nice finish in very nice finish on the old dog application. Saw that he loaded up the Starbucks gift card, so shout out to Paul, good fella there. With Hill being released this morning, how cheap will he be on the free agent market? He will sign for whatever deal. Uh, um, he will sign for whatever deal the Kansas City Chiefs offer him. I'm assuming the Kansas City Chiefs are going to offer him very little money, and he is going to sign it. I don't know, whatever the veteran minimum, because I believe the way it works is if no team claims Tyreek Hill, then I think that oh, there you go. Sorry. I thought you won on golf on the dog app. Had a little luck on FanDuel for the Daytona 500. Will everyone give first off, thank Paul if you got a gifted member like my guy TS Lane did here, and give Paul a little salute. Sir, I am using the sidekick. It's just not in my character. It's not in my nature to just straight up follow the sidekick, even when it's on my rankings, right? Even though it is on my rankings, which is very funny. GM to my guy Stefan for one big board on site credit. Give a big salute to my guy Stefan there. Yeah, I'll tell you, I will say that personally, the thing that I like the most about the sidekick is I like to understand the underlying thinking of what's going on. Like positionally, I can tell what the sidekick is saying to me right now. It's saying like, dude, you do not have enough wide receiver points. You thought you did, but you do not have enough wide receiver points. So I want you to try and get some more wide receiver points. Now, I want to see, are there any Titans or No, there really aren't. Titans. Yeah, nothing. All right, we're gonna do. You know what? I will just do Brazel. I think Brazel is whatever. I'm not super enamored with Chris Brazel, but I think he's fine. And if it gives me a running back here, well, there's no difference between these wide receivers. So I'm gonna take Damon Claiborne, who is my new obsession at the running back position. Chubb was dust coming off a dislocated knee, and he was 3 years younger than Tyreek when he injured it. Well, Mr. Cod, first off, as always, I'm welcome to hearing dissenting opinions, but there's not a way you could get me to not draft Tyreek Hill at these prices when he's going to be a Chief. Now, if he signs with, I don't know, if I don't know, who could he sign? I don't know if he signs with the Commanders or as someone just joked, the reunites with Matt Nagy in New York, I will have no interest. But if Tyreek is on the Chiefs, I'm sorry, bro. I'm just clicking the button. I can't help it, dude. What do you want me to do? I know the type of person I am, and I think you have a hard time putting the value on the FOMO I would have. Do you know how much FOMO I would have if, first off, Tyreek is definitely not going to be a Raven, bro. A Raven, that would be so selling out the his Kansas City Chiefs buddies. I have noticed this. The sidekick does really want you to take Brazel every draft, and I mean, I can show you exactly why. Because if you look at consensus big board data, he is really, really high. Like Chris Brazel is 52nd on the consensus big draft board. So he's ahead of Elijah Surratt. He's way ahead of Ted Hurst, ahead of Jacoby Lane, ahead of Deion Burks. He's way, way up there. All right, what's our final pick going to be here? We got Malachi Fields. Some of these tight ends kind of interesting. Clark, I kind of like. I tell you what, Justin Jolly. I'll give you guys a little one here. Justin Jolly was actually pretty high in the slap model. So Justin Jolly had, compared to other tight ends, he had a similar slap score to Irv Smith, Elijah Arroyo. Max Clark actually higher than him. All right, Max Clark's higher than him. We'll do it. We'll take Max Clark. So a little bit of a schizo team there. Two more on the fast draft, by the way, boys. So I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. Promo code Davis. Someone go hop in there with me so that we can continue our road to 3,000 drafts and be fast drafting over there. All right. So Mendoza, Cam Ward, Daniel Jones, JJ McCarthy, Bijan Robinson, Jadarian Price, Kenneth Gainwell, Tajay Spears, Dylan Sampson, Damon Claiborne. Yes. One of the site credit drafts of all time. Yes, the slap score expansion to tight ends is here. I was very surprised. It was not nearly as hard as I thought it was going to be. Actually, it was a relatively straightforward process, and we were able to do it. It was the process of generating the correlations was similar enough to wide receivers. There are a couple other tweaks. Actually, you guys maybe you guys will find this interesting. Maybe you won't. But the one position, so running backs have a small correlation to speed score. So if you use Bill Barnwell's speed score, there's a small correlation between the relationship between speed score and bang. All right, we're fast drafting. All right, and we're gonna start with Jamar Chase, full PPR, pick 3. Should be able to get the Joseph Burrow stack here. But at tight end, there was actually a big relationship between RAS, relative athletic score, and future fantasy points. So the way that I tested everything for the slap score, I tested everything for top 6 positional finish, top 12 positional finish, top 24 positional finish, first 3 seasons, fantasy points per game, career fantasy points per game, and then number of seasons over 10 PPR points. And the tight end correlation was actually a lot higher than I would have thought in the slap score. So we are getting after it. This maybe will or will not be interesting to those of you at home. And if it's not interesting, you can please feel free to tell me. But if you had to guess the highest slap score tight end of all time, it's not Brock Bowers. Yes. So this is why. So this is Chris is actually making a great point here, which is that top 24 fantasy finish surely can't be useful for tight end since it's a onesie position. That is exactly true, Chris. You're a sharp observer. That is why I added in the top 6 finish. That was much more helpful for tight ends. Not Darnell Washington. Darnell Washington actually scores very poorly because his age-related production was terrible. But the number 1 tight end prospect of all time in the slap model is not Bowers. It's actually Colston Loveland, and I don't even actually know why. I'd have to look a little bit. You can get the slap spreadsheet on patreon.com/DavisMattic. I just posted it last week. Wow. A Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson start, bro. Are you guys seeing this? A Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson start. Well, I don't know. So here, I mean, let's just look at it. So we've got Loveland right here. I mean, they're very close. Loveland right here and Bowers right here. So where did they go? Okay, so Loveland and Bowers. We've got slap score for Loveland. I mean, they're super close. 92.4, 90.6. Oh, that's draft capital score. Their breakout scores, so breakout scores were blank for for tight ends. Teammate score also irrelevant. So we've got tight end breakout score 99.8, 99.9. Tight end production score. Oh, the tight end production score. I guess he just must have scored a little bit higher. They both have an imputed RAS. They peak dominator. Oh, because okay, so that actually does make sense. So the reason why Loveland is a little bit better is that his yes, we're drafting more big boards for sure. I'll draft another big board after this. Yeah, I really need to not draft the baby. So the reason why Loveland is higher is because his finals or his peak season dominator was just a lot higher than Bowers. Let's do Ken Walker here, little anchor running back option. What were other finalists in contention for the slap model name? There were none. There were none. No other names were in contention at all. Wow. Okay. Do I want to do T and set up the Burrow thing? Or do I want to take a running back? Oh, what do you do? I'm going to take Kyron. I'm going to take Kyron. I got scared. I can give you a quick preview. So basically, I spent about a month downloading all data for every player who's ever been an NFL draft prospect. And I downloaded every play that's been played in the NFL from the NFL verse Fast R on GitHub. And basically, it's a lot of complex way to say slap score is just a ranking of eligibility for future fantasy points. So it's the relationship between a player's collegiate statistics and their ability to score fantasy points in the future. So you can see these guys are some of you got Marvin Harrison, Jamar Chase, Malik Neighbors, Saquon Barkley, Travis Hunter, Amari Cooper, Chris Olave, Jerry Judy, Garrett Wilson, JMO, and JSN as some of the highest slap score guys of all time. Yes, as Hochberg correctly points out here, very hard to have other names in contention when you thought of the name before the model itself. Yes. Hochberg, he knows me. He knows me well. Just think about the books you could have read in the time you took to build a slot model. I mean, honestly, a lot of books. A lot of books, Ethan. Because I probably put about, I don't know if I had to guess, about 40 hours into building the slot model. And truthfully, it's not even really all the way done. I have one more step left to get done. Oh, this is going to fall to me perfect because we're going to get Jameson Williams. Burrow is still on the board here. JMO would be a perfect fit. Come on, please don't snipe me, bro. Don't snipe me, bro. There's a huge drop off after Jam. I'm going to get sniped because oh, bang, Lamar. Okay. Because I think there's a huge drop off from JMO to Roa McBuka, the rookies, although Luther Burden is still available here as well. I just really don't want to get, I really do not want to get snapped off on Burrow on this team. And we get Luther Burden. Anyone done the Mendoza rug stack yet? Say less, bro. Say less. All right, so we are at Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Ken Walker, Kyron Williams, JMO, Luther Burden. We might even be able to get Caleb Williams on this team as well. Obviously, we run into the having a 100% drafted team, which we don't love, but you know, it is what it is. But please Please don't snipe me on Joe Burrow, bro. Please don't snipe me. But yeah, so the next step I have on the slap model is basically I ran out of Claude tokens for the day. My limit resets at 5 p.m. and then I won't be able to finish. What is an unethical joke? What's the unethical joke? Oh, Mendoza Ruggs. I mean, hey man, the NFL has a lot of criminals playing in it. Many criminals. And Ruggs will probably just be another one. Easy to use Claude on site credits. Very easy to use. I wish I could convert site credits into Claude tokens. And let me say, I do not co-sign the many criminals in the NFL, but it just is what it is. What does the $200 Claude version do? The $20 can't. So I did 1 month of the $200 version. I mean, basically, it just allows you to use it unlimited. Like you just can't run out of questions you can ask it or amount of code that it can write in one day. Right now, there is 228,000 lines of code in the slap model. So, oh come on, give me damn Burrow went. Frick. All right, we're gonna take Kyle Pitts. Uh, so there's 228,000 lines of code in the slap model, which basically means that every single new addition that I make to it is just very expensive. All right, well, I really got screwed there. I have another angle that I think I can do here. Yeah, so much for getting Burrow or Caleb. Thanks for coming out, everybody. I got one other angle I think we can do here to give myself a non 100% on stack. I'm gonna do Trevor Lawrence. Bro, I think you have too many week 10 buys. Yeah, it's very funny. Some of the websites are still displaying. I think DraftKings is still displaying the bye weeks from last year, the week 10 buys. Yeah, but now I am using the $20 code, $20 Claude because I can't afford whatever, spending $5,000 a year on credits. Yes. Well, the reason why it has so many lines is because again, as I've stated many times, I don't know what I'm doing, and it takes me a long time to get to where a smarter person would get. As I've maintained the whole time, like sacrilegious or shady could basically. Oh, everyone has a week 10 buy on fast draft. That's even funnier. But yeah, like sacrilegious or shady could have got this project that I'm doing done in a weekend because they already know everything there is to know about coding. Like they could immediately identify the problem. Uh, the only weighted receiving metric in the model for wide receivers is age related dominator rating. So at what percentage or at what age did you first generate 20% or more of the receiving volume of your offense? Because it's the only thing that correlates to future NFL production. I'm going to snap off Brenton Strange here to get us a second tight end. But basically, I ran all these tests. It was like, okay, yards per game, total receptions, total touchdowns, PFF grade, PFF route grade, PFF yards per reception, all the stuff, yards per route run, and none of it has any correlation compared to dominator rating. All right, we need another running back. We're gonna slip in a sneaky little Emmett Johnson here. That's a sleeper running back for you. I think the people are going to be surprised at how good Emmett Johnson is in the National Football League. Wow, this is very fitting because Andrew shows up to say hello and he's about to see me do something that is going to make him sick to his stomach because with my next pick, I'm going to take cornerback Travis Hunter, the wide receiver 4 on the Jaguars, and he's going to say, "Aren't you worried he has to tackle Jonathan Taylor, bro?" So you take all these variables that matter, assign a proprietary weighting, and that's trying to get these slap RSQs close to fantasy points per game as possible. Yes. Yeah. Basically, the process is this: dump all of the data into a master data set, get the master data set to correlate the college football profile to the NFL profile. You back test the data to say, okay, what is the relationship between these two variables? And then you have the model train itself on, like, the weighting is not proprietary to me. The weighting is trained based off of the back test. Like the back test itself is the weighting that gives each category its prevalence in the eventual. But yes, it's effectively a model that tries to um, correlate these college statistics with future NFL. Where was Harold Fannin in the tight end slot model? I can tell you, Harold Fannin. Ooh, really high actually. Harold Fannin. I got to make this pick, and I'm going to take Travis Hunter. So Harold Fannin was a 79.7 in the slot model. The slot model liked him a lot more than draft capital did. Like, if you can see, his 67 overall was ahead of multiple first round picks. He had a better slap score in the model than Kyle Pitts, actually. Kyle Pitts, Kyle Pitts with a 79.1, Harold Fannin with a 79.7, because he had a perfect breakout score, 99.9, because he broke out as a freshman at Bowling Green State University. Did you use did you Davis, do you use AI to teach you how to create this model? Yes. Yeah, I did brick. I literally started from square one. Um like, this is what I'm trying to test. This is the data that I have. And then how do we determine a relationship between these outcomes? How do we determine a relationship between fantasy points scored in the NFL and between these available statistics we have? Now, I know, because I've been doing fantasy football so long and I know so much about prospects, I knew some of the key things to test for. Like, I know from JJ and from Dwayne McFarland that receiving yards per team pass attempt for running backs is a really high quality variable for testing future point scoring for running backs. So that's basically the production metric for running backs in the slot model. And then I know the dominator rating stuff from all the work done at RotoViz by guys like John Moore and actually Jonathan Bales. Who is more likely to bust next year, Jeanty or Bowers? I mean, Travis Hunter basically does not have an ADP on Fast Draft. Travis Hunter, I can look at here. Let me look at my team. Travis Hunter's only been drafted in 62% of these drafts, so his ADP is really late. Now, Chris is obviously hitting at the key point, which is like, this is like a total passion project. I've been having an absolute blast drafting it. Like, it has been a huge joy to learn about this stuff. I need another running back. Let's do Rashad White. It's because I love to learn, and I'm both learning about coding, I'm learning about how to use AI models, I'm learning about football, I'm learning about, like, all kinds of things while I'm working on this. So, because learning is cool, like, it's cool to learn new skills, it's cool to develop new things that you're capable of. So I've been having um, a blast doing it. All right, we definitely need at least one more running back. All right, Keaton Mitchell, 2.7% drafted in the Rabbit. And then, so now we have two quarterbacks, five running backs, five wide receivers, two tight ends. Let's do a wide receiver. Um, let's take a literal 1% owned. Go Mike, as in Mike Washington Jr. If you're a piss boy on Fast Draft, you should see a doctor. Well, we are doing it. Yeah, I'm also having trouble doing this. I'm having a lot of trouble not clicking um Adonai Mitchell. Dude, it feels it's set up too good for him. Although, I mean, who's gonna quarterback the New York Football Jets? Do they have a market for that on like DraftKings or Kalshi or Polymarket? Do they have a market for who is going to be the next quarterback of the New York Football Jets? I because I don't have a good sense of who it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be Ty Simpson. It can't. Is it really going to be Ty Simpson? I feel like it really can't be. It cannot be. That cannot be the plan. If it is Ty Simpson, they gotta have a backup plan. Is Kayshawn's dominator rating up there? I don't think so. I don't remember him being a particularly high level prospect. Although I could be wrong. All right, what are we gonna do for our final pick? We got to do a slap wide receiver pick. Um, I mean, our two quarterbacks are Trevor Lawrence and Bo Nix. I guess we could do. Here you go. Here's a slap. Play the hits. Marvin Mims as the final pick in this draft. 0% drafted Marvin Mims. Jets wide receiver 3 is not something I can sigh out my. He's not the wide receiver 3. Who's the wide receiver 2? All right, let's see. Kayshawn Booty. Kayshawn Booty. No, actually, you know what? Kayshawn would be pretty good. 25% dominator rating, 41%, 16% his final year. Not great. Oh, come on. John Mechie. I think Hayden was mentioning that Derek Carr and Aaron Glenn are pretty tight. Okay. All right. I'm into that. All right. This was a very good team over on Fast Draft. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Ken Walker, Kyron Williams, Jamison Williams, Luther Burden, Kyle Pitts, Trevor Lawrence, Brenton Strange, Emmett Johnson, Travis Hunter, Bo Nix, Rashad White, Keaton Missile, and Marvin Mims. Bang. All right, well, let's hop back in. We'll do another big board draft over on Underdog Fantasy. Of course, if you've never played on Fast Draft, promo code Davis will get you a deposit bonus there. And if you've never played on Underdog, promo code Davis will get you a deposit bonus match there as well. So really, you can't go wrong using promo code Davis hardly anywhere. It's hard for me to imagine a place where it would be. Now, yes, Carr apparently said like, "Oh, I want to go win a Super Bowl or whatever." But I mean, do you think Derek Carr also might just want to make some money? Like, what when the Jets be able to give him a ton of money? I agree that Chase and Justin Jefferson combo feels pretty tasty. I was thinking a wide receiver 2 would be whoever they take top 10 or sign in free agency. I think you are taking disingenuously because the Jets have so many needs. This is a team that did not generate an interception last year. They have so many needs. It's really hard for me to imagine them looking at a wide receiver room with Mechie, Garrett Wilson, and Adonai Mitchell, who they traded for, and saying, "Yeah, you know what we need to do? Let's take a wide receiver." And I guess the Jets have. Do they have 2 picks? Yes. So I guess the Jets do have 2 picks. So the Jets pick at 2 and the Jets pick at 16. The Jets could definitely take like I guess what? They could take Lemon at 16. Trying to be a hardo. If he wants to play, he'll go anywhere that will take him. Yeah, I mean, obviously this is true. You thought about making your own AI agent with a backend database you create of every player prospect to use to compare. Yeah, let me tell you, that is above my pay grade. Even like my amount of knowledge, like building a database. People talk about AI like it is so easy, and you can do this and you can do that. Let me tell you, dude, it's pretty tough. Like it's harder than you think to build a lot of this stuff. All right, guys, are you ready? Are you ready? Because we're gonna do it. We are gonna do the true zero running back team here. We are turning the clock back. We are gonna begin with Justin Jefferson and Trey McBride. We are turning the clock back. We are drafting like this is 2023 or 2022 again. Uh okay, Chris, I've learned that this is very unfashionable. People don't use this anymore. They think it's bad, but it's all done in Python, which I think is people say Python's not cool. They like R, but my stuff is done, which and maybe is just because that's what Claude does well. Claude does Python better. I really don't know, but it's done in Python. The Chargers had 2 takeaways in 1 play last year. The Jets had 4 all season. My God. I mean, things were for so dire for the Jets. There you go. Python is often used by data scientists. I just know when I have talked to some people who are actually data scientists, coders, programmers, um, that they tend to be more R based. I wouldn't have been able to quickly learn the basics of R without AI, but it fucks up all the time. Yes. So again, anyone who's tried to build any of these projects in AI, like again, this is one of the reasons why these people who claim that AI is going to revolutionize the world and it's going to take everyone's job, I just have a very hard time believing it because unless you are constantly knowing what you're looking for and putting your thumb on the scale, it is going to make horrendous mistakes. And mistakes that are they're kind of devious because it will take you a while to get to realize the mistake it made. You'll get 6 steps in and realize that it made a mistake at step 2, and then you'll be like, "Well, shit. Now I gotta tear this whole thing down and go back to the start." So, I maybe am not as much of an AI is gonna eat the world, type person in that respect as others because, I'm just a normal guy. Like, I'm certainly not a genius programmer guy, and it's taken me a long time. If I was a genius programmer, obviously it would have been yes. No, obviously this is true. Smart people are using and building AI tools far more efficiently. So obviously that is true, but the same fundamental issues still exist. Yeah, I think I tend to agree with this too. The writing the code part is the easy part, but the reading it and scrutinizing it and analyzing part is what is more important anyway. And I will also say this, probably the most insidious thing about AI is that it makes it seem that all of your ideas are good, and the reality is most of your ideas are probably bad. So you have this vicious feedback loop where you're working on a project and it's telling you you're doing a good job when you're in reality doing quite a poor job. So I just would caution against that if you're using a lot of AI projects as well. All right, let's do Garrett Wilson. And you know what? Let's just play all the hits. Let's also take JMO. So we have a Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, Jamison Williams, Trey McBride, true zero running back start. Yeah. I mean, of course, everyone who's used one of these things, like, oh, I'm gonna try it out, has experienced that. Oh, you're absolutely right. Like, and you're not. You're absolutely wrong. Yeah, it's really problematic. And again, like I know some people really don't like this stuff and they don't want to hear about it and they don't want to talk about it. And I'm not trying to proselytize anything. I like I said, I just am having uh I am having a fun time trying to learn about fantasy football and this tool And because I never learned to code, I never learned how to use Python. I never learned that stuff, you know. I could have. Yeah, well, I don't use Grok because it seems like it's really bad. Grok seems like of all the publicly available AI models, it seems like by far the worst. I use ChatGPT to build a tournament simulator for the Call of Duty League. Yep. Yeah, it makes a small mistake and then goes, "Oops, sorry." Because it's like anything else. It all these LLMs are trained to make you addicted. It's the same kind of stuff that goes into Instagram Instagram Reels and everything. It's designed to keep you addicted to your phone and to your screen. The sycophancy problem is very much at the core of what these models are trying to do. It's trying to keep you on your computer. Yeah, 100%, 100%. I certainly would not want to learn to code right now. I can't imagine much of a future in it. The 4th, 5th running back round feels so forced because of running back heavy structures, especially when you compare to the value and talent. So weaker than Paul. I don't know how long you've been around fantasy football, but you just reinvented from first principles the running back dead zone. You know what I'm saying? Like this right here, Javonte Williams and DeAndre Swift. I mean, that shit is as running back dead zone as it can possibly get. Like we are all the way back. I mean, the Overton window has shifted a little bit, but we are certainly at the running back dead zone, you know. All right. So this is a great spot, I think, for Jane Daniels because we're just totally gonna try and win. We are just gonna fuck. I mean, this is probably where I'd want to take a running back. But even still, like DeAndre Swift, what is DeAndre Swift getting me? Let's take, you know what? I've like done none of this, but let's take Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride together and just see what we get. Brother, peak. I was drafting during the NFC Conference Championship game. No days off. Best ball drafts take no breaks. It's not a game out here, peak. Well, it is a game. It's a game. It's a game to other people. It's not a game to me. I'm in the streets. Yeah, I mean, what? Okay, seriously, in all seriousness, what is the difference between Byshell Tootin at pick 77 and Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt at pick 130? What is the difference? You know, I'm not sure. I'm not sure there is much of one. No, A Chain Genty and A Chain. I'll tell you my single favorite start in drafts this year is Ashton Genty and Trey McBride. Well, I have some news for you. Chris Rodriguez is a restricted free agent. Restricted free agent for Chris Rodriguez. Well, the Tootin stuff is related to the fact that people think ETN is going to be on a different team because Travis Etienne is an unrestricted free agent. I hope I was. I hope I was literally in the first draft when the contest dropped. I don't know if I was. Isn't now the best time to draft zero running back? A bunch of brokey running backs are going to have their lives changed in free agent in the draft. All you got to do is get some right. I 100% agree with this. Yeah, I think this is a really really good time to be doing zero running back drafts. I agree. Yeah, I also don't think Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt starts, but I mean, right now he is the he's the only running back under contract on the team. I mean, I just think that the likelihood that the Arizona Cardinals quarterback plays better than Jacoby Brissett last season is likely to be higher. Obviously, I couldn't say for certain, but I think it is likely. Yeah, I mean, if so, I think ETN I think ETN could very likely not leave. I mean, he's been with Trevor Lawrence for like a million years, dude. It's been ETN and Trevor Lawrence forever. Feels like the real model we should be making is the one where we predict how many points a running back scores in the next season after his teammate is an RFA and a UFA. I mean, I'm sure someone's done that study. Well, elite tight end worked last year with McBride, right? And coulda worked with Bowers. See, Tootin, I think is an example of a guy I don't want to take on a team like this. Like I feel as if maybe I should just do it. I really don't like it. I honestly might like Pollard as an anchor better here. I am gonna take Pollard. I feel like Pollard is kind of a better anchor. And then we can take like Jacoby Myers and then just take a huge break at running back. Like Pollard is our dusty old. We can stack him with Cam Ward later. Unstoppable force meets an immovable object, the football, and Nathaniel. Well, Hackett is not the offensive coordinator, right? Nathaniel Hackett, or is he? God, he is the offensive coordinator. My God. Yeah, that's a pretty immovable object. What kind of contract is ETN looking at? 3 year, 40 million. Well, let's go look at running back NFL RB contracts, and I'll try because I think he's probably maybe like a little bit better than what Kyron got. So Kyron got 3 for 33. I think probably probably more like James Cook, right? I mean, he was very, very good last season. Yeah. Maybe it is just the Kyron deal, 3 years, 33 million or whatever. I can certainly see that. Hard for me to say exactly though. Yeah, I mean, how is it possible that guys like Nathaniel Hackett keep getting hired? I don't understand. All right, so we are at Jaden Daniels, Tony Pollard, Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, Jameson Williams, Marvin Harrison, Jacoby Myers, and Trey McBride. I think I might even want to take like 8 running backs on this team. Yeah, Rico, I feel like Rico is not going to get paid that much money. I feel like I think Corain was saying this to me the other day, but I think the NFL has basically told us what they think of Rico Dowdle, which is he's not going to get much. ETN deserves all the money, but I think those guys yeah, I mean, and I would guess ETN probably does. He probably wants to stay, right? Like I would assume he was like, "Okay, that was my best season ever. This was the team that drafted me. I'm with my boy. Um, I'm with my boy Trevor Lawrence. He probably likes the coaching staff, I would assume. Yeah, I mean ETN and Trevor Lawrence are now if it's a difference of $10 million, probably not. If it's a difference of $10 million, all I've been hearing about is how bad this rookie draft class is. If true, a lot of guys are being overdrafted. Well, I mean, the thing you have to remember is that even in a weak class, there's going to be a lot of first round wide receivers because wide receivers are so important. This is very interesting, by the way. Are you guys seeing all these wide receivers in the queue? Sidekick is telling me I'm still behind at wide receiver, which is just kind of funny. All right. Well, I mean, should we just take Wandale? Nope, Wandale's gone. Let's take Goff here. I think it is telling me I'm behind at wide receiver. So let's take let's take Jaden Reed. And then I'm gonna take Goff, assuming that it changes. It still wants me to take a wide receiver. I am just fascinated by that. I don't think I have ever had that confluence of things. I do think it probably is more that the running backs there are just bad picks. You have to get lucky with the right running back, getting the right opportunity, and being not awful like Bucky Irving from 2 years ago. I mean, yes, but we also, I mean, like we did get these guys last year. Like I think it's important to learn the right lesson when things happen. I think a lot of people learned the wrong lesson from guys like Woody Marks, RJ Harvey, Byshell Tutin, and JCM, where they looked at the results those guys got and they were like, well, these were kind of underwhelming results. You know, none of those guys were huge smashes, but they were all huge ADP values. The closing line value for Woody Marks, the closing line value for Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, the closing line value for RJ Harvey, the closing line value for Byshell Tutin, massive compared to where they were being drafted in the big board. And over time, if you get that closing line value, like Leone wrote this in the Best Ball Manifesto, I mean, 3 years ago now, but the number one way to have success on a given team is to get a lot of closing line ADP, both closing line and real time ADP value. And so, like, yeah, RJ Harvey did suck last year, but the next RJ Harvey could be great. The next RJ Harvey could be the guy you need to have. I don't know. I mean, let's say, let's just look at the running back. So let's say, let's even just take a guy I haven't drafted much of. Let's say Roman Hemby ends up having a really strong combine and ends up a second round pick to the Bengals or the Cardinals or whoever it might be. Like you're gonna be like, wow, like I wish I had 30% of this. Yeah, I mean Harvey had some spike weeks. Tootin had some spike weeks, JCM had some spike weeks, Marks had some spike weeks, but none of them were like story of the season running backs. Daniel Jeremiah likes Mike Washington Jr. over Jonah Coleman. I gotta say I disagree. Jonah Coleman is really my style of running back. He's big, he's a goal line back, and he catches passes. He's like perfect to me. But I have not I mean it's February 16th. I have not watched the film 100% yet on Mike Washington Jr. The guys I went big on. Yep. I was also big on Gurendo. I was also big on Jaden Blue. I was not big on Jarquez Hunter and Taj Brooks. But yeah, like those guys are all like that just is what it is. Like you're just gonna miss some of those guys. I tell you who Jonah Coleman reminds me of. You guys tell me if this is off base, on base. But Jonah Coleman reminds me of Kareem Hunt. That's my comp for Jonah Coleman. Kareem Hunt, Pacific Northwest Kareem Hunt. All right, here we go. We finally get a running back, and actually perfect for this build. We're gonna get. You know what? We should just take James Conner and Trey Benson here because they're not both gonna be on Arizona. But yeah, I think we take both of them. Sidekick wants me to take Goddard, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna take Trey Benson. So we have like guaranteed ourselves a starting running back there. One of Connor or Benson. Not prime Kareem Hunt because prime people forget prime Kareem Hunt was like an unbelievably good player. I'll say halfway between prime Kareem Hunt and halfway between current Kareem Hunt. Uh, uh, Nick, there's no way they're both on Arizona. James Conner is the most obvious cut guy of the season for me. James Conner is 30 years old. He is owed. Well, let me pull up his SPO track actually. But I will say James Conner is the most obvious cut candidate of the entire season. So James Conner can be cut to save. They can save $7.5 million. He is cut. You can take that to the bank. Actually, James Conner will be cut. Well, Isaiah Pacheco is an unrestricted free agent, so he's not going to be on the team. They are going to be moving in a new direction. Sad, but the game is the game, as the kids say. Yes, Tyreek is going to be on the Chiefs on a vet min deal. This is Nick. It's just the way of the land. 30-year-old running backs who are owed $9 million get cut. His current cap hit is $9.8 million, which would make him he would be the 11th highest paid running back in the NFL. 11th highest paid running back in the NFL. And I believe if they designate him a post June 1st, they can save. Well, actually, this doesn't make any sense. Oh, they can actually save a little bit more overall on the. Well, no, that actually doesn't make any sense. So the post June designation actually wouldn't mean anything there. Yes, Connor for sure will be getting carries somewhere. It's just not going to be in Arizona. If I was a betting man, I would say he's not re-signing in Arizona. See, this zero running back team is actually really working out because we bypassed that bad pocket, and now we're gonna get well, let's take Aaron Jones, and then let's take a moonshot here, and let's take Jonathan Brooks. So we've got Daniels and Goff. We have Tony Pollard, James Conner, Trey Benson, Aaron Jones, Jonathan Brooks, Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, Jamison Williams, Marvin Harrison, Jacoby Myers, Jaden Reed, Trey McBride. I would have taken Malik Willis there if he was available, but he was not. Feels like no one talks about Monty, but he's risen like 2 rounds. Is he going back to Detroit? See, I think the market, I think, is maybe even making the opposite assumption, which is that he's not going to be on Detroit. And I think maybe at this point you don't even want him on Detroit. I think you probably want him somewhere closer to where he can actually just be a starter, because as we saw last year, the thing with Detroit was they realized that Jahmyr Gibbs was so much better than David Montgomery that they could no longer, they just couldn't do that part of the offense anymore. It is. It's almost like the sidekick knows the pockets of the draft. Katron gonna replace Monty. I love that Katron's nickname is like they called him Fat Man. Imagine. I mean, they could. The Bears could just scoop Montgomery up cheap. I gotta say, Kyle Monungai's ADP. That's one that makes no sense to me. Kyle Monungai is like totally a fine guy. How is Kyle Monungai possibly going where he is going? Like, what on earth is there? Being slow is fine. Being slow is fine if you're a big fella. I actually agree with this. The pointless shuffling of vet running backs. It's like they all are basically going to have the same projection, but they're just going to be on different teams now. It's very funny. It's like, come on, man. What are we doing here? If Javonte leaves Dallas, do I like my boy Jaden Blue? No, I think Jaden Blue He had his chance. I mean, Jaden Blue, I actually think is like probably a pretty decent running back, and if they chose to give him the work, I think he would probably be pretty good. But it just feels like the ship has sailed with that coaching staff. I don't. You can't get blisters with Gucci cleats and then just be like, all right, well, it's fine. Like I don't think that works. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe it's fine and maybe I'm wrong. I've taken Jaden Blue a couple times, but I like for example, like I like Brashard Smith better there. Yeah, so Katron and Singleton are actually pretty good in the slap model because they both broke out as freshmen, and my stuff doesn't care about final year production at all. Calvin Ridley, huh? We doing Calvin Ridley? I don't think so. I don't think I'm doing Calvin Ridley. Terrence Ferguson went. Let's take my guy Gunnar Helm. And then where are we at on quarterback? So Jacoby already went. So let's take you know what? Mixon actually is really good on these zero running back builds because Mixon is either a zero or a starting running back. What do I think of the new Seahawks offensive coordinator? I don't think I know anything about him. Jeremiah always says grade prospects on their peak. Well, I guess the thing about grading prospects on their peak is that often you end up probably liking a lot of older prospects that way. And I'm just in general, I want to defer as much as possible to young guys. I want to defer to young guys who are good young. Like I want as many guys who were blowing up at 18. You know, I want guys who were dominating at a really young age. And at running back, it definitely matters less. I mean, at the end of the day, you can explain about 65% of future fantasy points. Honestly, kind of even more like 75% of future fantasy points with just draft capital alone. Like a just draft capital prospect model, like it's not as fun. It's not sexy, but like a pure draft capital model is going to kind of get you where you need to go in terms of these prospects. Now, there's a little bit of art in the big board in terms of knowing what type of guys are likely to be drafted higher than the market is assuming right now. Well, I did like Nick Nash actually, because Nick Nash had an excuse. He was a converted quarterback. Explain Trevion Henderson. I mean, I have like no explanation for what the Patriots were doing with Trevion Henderson. I don't even know why they took him. Like I don't actually understand why the Patriots even took him to begin with. What was the plan? If you get him in the building and you don't let him pass block, and then I guess a lot of people were saying he was very bad at pass protection after being very good in pass protection in college. So I it just doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Yeah, Pats could have had Burden. I'll do you one better. Consensus pre-rank 15% draft capital. Yeah, you'd get a pretty wide margin of error with consensus pre-draft rank. Seems like they just said the vets are playing in the playoffs. He scored the most 50-yard touchdowns in the NFL. It is true. Yeah, Heidenreich. So Heidenreich is really funny if you do any mathematical prospecting stuff because uh do we do Mariota? Mariota third quarterback? Yeah, we'll do Mariota. We'll do Mariota, and then I'll take my guy Zachariah Branch. So we've got 2 picks left. We have 3 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, 7 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. Jaden Daniels, Jared Goff, Marcus Mariota, Tony Pollard, James Conner, Trey Benson, Aaron Jones, Jonathan Brooks, Joe Mixon, Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, Jamison Williams, Marvin Harrison, Jacoby Myers, Jaden Reed, Zachariah Branch, Trey McBride, and Gunnar Helm. Do I have an opinion on Najee Harris as a 0 running back pick? He is inarguably a very good 0 running back pick. You know what, Ryan? I will actually tell you a funny joke here. Let me just read an exact quote from Claude Code here. Cause I initially wanted RAS to be a big part of Claude Code, or a big part of Claude Code. I wanted RAS to be a huge part of the structure. But basically, you couldn't it just doesn't correlate that much with future production. It does a little bit, but it doesn't do like speed score is actually better, which is funny because it incorporates fewer things. Also, here's also a very funny thing. Running backs just hit way more often than wide receivers. Wide receivers are just in general more likely to be fantasy busts. I found that to be very interesting. Like drafted running backs, because they almost always get to play, just have higher hit rates. So I thought that was interesting. I'm scrolling back up in my module to see if I can find a good quote. But basically, I would try and make RAS a larger point, and I'd say, okay, look, let's run the back test this way. Let's run it this way. Let's try a Briar score. Let's try a bootstrap. Let's do this. Let's do that. And it would always be like RAS can explain about 5% of future running back production and can't really explain any more than that. If the market doesn't start moving up some of these wide receivers, I'm going to end up with an entirely irresponsible amount of Fields, Cooper, and Bell. Bell, I'm not in on. Bell, I'm out. Rookie wide receiver with a torn ACL does not sound fun to me. But you know, what can you do? The other guys I am in on. Cooper, Debo, I'm in. It's true, Michael Wilson did have a big RAS. He did. All right, what are we going to end with? Cooper Kupp. Sorry, bro. Sorry, Karain. Sorry, sidekick. Oh, this is a good-ass Eli Stowers team. Please don't let me get sniped here. I'm going to get... Don't snipe me, bro. All right, let's do... So let's take Stowers. Ted Hurst, I do like. Ted Hurst, Chris Bell, Slayton, Malik Washington, Jack Bash. You know what? I don't think I've taken Eric McAllister yet. So let's do an Eric McAllister. Final team. Jaden Daniels, Jared Goff, Marcus Mariota, Tony Pollard, James Conner, Trey Benson, Aaron Jones, Jonathan Brooks, Joe Mixon, Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, Jamison Williams, Marvin Harrison, Jacoby Myers, Jaden Reed, Zachariah Branch, Eric McAllister, Trey McBride, Gunnar Helm, Eli Stowers. Send it. Left a comment on one of your videos, but what's up with the booty hate? I think he's fine. He's not. He sucks. And he is the most obvious guy who's going to get replaced in the entire NFL. You know what? Why don't we do a bigger board? We want to do a $100 bigger board, boys. I think we should. Let's ship a bigger board. What do we think, huh? Yeah, there was no Chief on that team. This will be my second bigger board. I will probably save the rest of these. Oh, you meant Skylar Bell? Okay. Love Skylar Bell. He did not have a great slap score. But I honestly, like, I tried to mess around with it because I wanted his production score to be better than it was. So he waited to break out until later, so his production score was just not that good. But I did really like Skylar Bell. I just would say in general, I like he's the type of prospect. So I do like guys who are really young, but another type of prospect I really like are guys who break out super late, but they break out in like an insane way. The guys who break out really late in an insane way, I'm huge fans of. Like if you have a if you have a 40% dominator rating, um Skylar Bell, the UConn guy, when I see can't deal with press coverage or physical cornerbacks in the profile of a small school guy, I take him off the ranks. Yeah. Well, I mean, look, you're not alone on that. So Skylar Bell. I mean, he played forever. He transferred from Wisconsin, but he did a freaking 40% dominator rating. McAllister over Boston. Yeah, Boston is a guy I need to move down in my rankings. When all is said and done at current ADP, what percent of CMC, Derrick Henry, and Saquon will I have? I mean, I'm gonna have 8% because I lived the reality of what fading those guys feels like, but I fully expect Saquon to be a huge bust. Like I think Saquon is gonna be the worst pick on the board. And I don't even really think it's gonna be that close, but I can't I cannot live another year of what that experience was like. That experience was so miserable. I did see my Kansas group chat is going insane because obviously all my friends from high school and college are big. All right, there we go. Puka team in the bigger board are because we all went to K State, and so everyone is on fire with the Jerome Tang firing. I don't know shit about K State men's basketball. I don't know anything about college basketball, but very different situation, but some Fanon vibes for me with Bell. Just knows how to get open. I like it. I like it. I just think Bell, he just was awesome, man. He some of these guys are just fun to watch. And like at the end of the day, that doesn't mean anything. But maybe it does. Maybe it does mean something. You know what I'm saying? Scared seeing what physical corners did to Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, it's kind of a different NFL now. You know what I'm saying? Some of these guys who are zone beaters have different roles in the NFL now. All right, will I have the courage to do another zero running back team here in the bigger board? I mean, probably not. This would actually be a spot where I would consider taking Derrick Henry probably. Who do we got in here? We got Jason Rab from Run Pure Sports. I actually don't recognize. Oh, my guy Hochberg in here. I actually don't recognize a ton of these names. Well, you always have to couch this idea in this, Brad. The idea of drafting guys that were awesome in college. You have to analyze it this way, which is that you can be awesome in college, but when you're awesome in college at 24, it is a lot different from being awesome in college when you're 18. It's just a lot different. Oh, this wide receiver class is well, actually, you know what? It might be better because Tate and Tyson and Lemon, I think, are all like bona fide. And then you have, your Zachariah Branches, you have your KC Concepciones, your fast little water bug guys. I mean, James Proche was awesome in college. It's true. Oh, I need to do the sidekick reset. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys think this year's wide receiver class is better or worse than last year's. So there's a really interesting thing with both Dion Burks and Jaden Ott, which is that the Oklahoma coaching staff got those guys in like in the NIL market and then like hated them like interpersonally. Like the coaches hated Jaden Ott. They were like, this guy sucks. We do not want, like, this was a mistake to spend the NIL money on him. And the same thing kind of happened with Burks. He also got injured. I I I actually do like Burks, even as an Oklahoma fan, he like did not engender goodwill to Oklahoma fans. Like they did not like it. Wow. All right, here you go. Davis Maddock taking the worst pick on the board in a $100 draft in February. I mean, Puka Barkley. I mean, I'm saying it's not that bad of a start. And then I even get to take my guy Crashy Rice, Puka Nakua, Saquon Barkley, and Crashy Rice. Something that is going to help Burks is he is going to show up at the combine, and he's gonna be one of the big winners of the combine. Like when I do my video recapping the combine, he is gonna be great. And also, I mean, I guess to be fair, 2024 Dion Burks before he got injured, he was actually pretty good. 32% dominator rating in 5 games, but it's that final season at Purdue that is carrying the water. So 2023 in Purdue, 36% dominator rating. And let me just actually pull up 2023 Purdue to show you guys the offensive environment that this was happening in. Because these guys were terrible, right? Hudson Card is your quarterback. The team throws for 2,500 yards. In that environment, Dion Burks is the only guy to have more than 32 receptions. He's the only guy to have more than 381 yards. No one else on the team has more than 2 touchdown receptions. He has 7. He averages 52 yards per game. Compare that to the running game. This was the Devin Mockabee, Tyron Tracy team. The team ran, so they had 392 pass attempts. How many total rushing attempts? 456 rush attempts. That is the offensive environment that Dion Burke was in. It's already a week before the combine and you're drafting? Yeah. So I'm lining up some shows for just guests and stuff. And I was texting Reeves saying I wanted to have him on the channel. And Reeves is going to the combine, so we might be able to get some fresh intel from our dude Lord Reeves on the channel. All right. Well, so on the left side of the board, when you do 2 wide receivers, 1 running back, you then put yourself in a range where you have to, or you're at least tempted to take one of these guys, Scattaboo, Henderson, Harvey, Judkins. I feel like those 4 guys, Scattaboo, Henderson, Harvey, and Judkins, are like the biggest. They're like the biggest. What do you even do? Like, what do you even do with Scattaboo, Henderson, Harvey, and Judkins? Scattaboo, you're like, I mean, is he going to be healthy? Are they going to be good? Is he going to be used as a pass catcher in the same way? Henderson, is he even the starting running back on the team? Harvey, what do you do when Dobbins signs? Judkins, how healthy is he? How bad is the team going to be? Like, but because I took Rashi over Jacobs, Brees, Bucky, and Ken Walker, I'm in a spot where, like, I probably got to take one of those guys. I definitely, Ross, I feel like you know me well enough to know I'm not going to do this. I mean, I've done lots of things in my life. I don't know if I just cannot take Javonte Williams, man. Javonte frickin' Williams. I don't know. Hendo did famously score more points than Ramondre last year, despite not playing until week 7. Well, you score a lot of 50-yard touchdowns, and that's pretty much what happens. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm just gonna end up taking. I truly don't even like Harvey. Really, Harvey. I guess if I were to be kind to him, I would say, like, he was just playing at UCF, and maybe it was just a big step up in competition for him. Damn, I should have taken Burden first, actually. Sidekick says Waddle. Oh, Waddle went. Sidekick says Javante. Yeah, I'm not doing that. We're gonna take Carnell Tate. I cannot take Javante. What are the reasons you can't take Javante? He's fat and slow. The reasons you can take Worthy, because I want to. How about that, Jake? How about a man has to believe in something? And I believe in forgiving Xavier Worthy for breaking his shoulder. Pretend you're drafting 2021 James Conner when you take Javante. I can see that. Man, okay. I gotta look up this Nathaniel Hackett shit again. I cannot believe this guy is the offensive coordinator for an NFL team. All right, Nathaniel Hackett. His teams have finished second in rushing yards. Why were they so bad the next year? What happened? So this Nathaniel Hackett team, had Fred Jackson and CJ Spiller. Then what happened the next year? Spiller must have gotten hurt. I don't even remember Anthony Dixon. Honest to God, I do not remember Anthony Dixon. I do remember Sammy Watkins and Robert Woods. Okay. The Jacksonville teams, first in the NFL in rushing attempts, first in the NFL in yards. Was that Fournette? That must have been year one of Fournette, right? Yep, that was year one of Fournette with Chris Ivory and TJ Yeldon. I mean, he's put together some good rushing offenses. 2020 Green Bay. I mean, yeah, do you like slow players or fast players? Imagine, okay, this actually is a great way to frame why I'm not taking Javante. Imagine drafting Javante Williams over Carnell Tate. It does feel a little insane. Davis is like the main character on a show we all want to change for the better, but he never does. So it's a good way to explain it. And also, some hills, like every man has to have a hill he's willing to die on. And I am willing to die on fast wide receiver death hill. If that's how I'm gonna go, that's how I'm gonna go, man. You know, it just is what it is. Joey enjoys this program. He does not want this program to change. And you know what? We're honestly fine. What is the difference between what is the functional difference between taking Ramondre and taking Javante? I don't know if the functional difference is that great. Are you gonna feel good about Javante Williams when he doesn't re-sign with the Cowboys because the Cowboys want to take Jeremiah Love? Like if Javante Williams is on another team and he signs another 1-year, $5 million deal, are you going to be excited about that? I don't think you are. I don't think you're going to be excited about that at all. I think, in fact, you're actually going to be miserable if that happens. I think you're going to say, Davis tried to warn me. I have been taking some memes. I've been taking a little bit of memes. And you know what? I actually am going to take Ramondre here. I feel like Ramondre fits this build. Because I might just need a stopgap. Yeah, can't take Javante on a Barkley team. I got a young guy, I got a medium age guy, and I got an old guy here. And maybe we do. Maybe I take Fan in here actually. Maybe I do the plan in here. Nope, no planning. All right, we'll do Mike Evans. So Barkley, Harvey, Ramondre, Puka, Rashi, Carnell Tate, Mike Evans. So I've got Stafford live, I've got Mahomes live, I've got Baker live. Knicks with Harvey, I think, is fine. And it's true. You know what? Actually, very good point from Chris here. RJ Harvey is already a veteran. Oh, I mean, think everyone agrees with this. I think 100% of people agree that the Dallas offense carried Javonte Williams last year, not that Javonte carried the Dallas offense. Any running back given those touches could have done as much, if not more. I think even Javonte Williams would probably tell you that. Word on the street is that Mike Evans is returning to Tampa. Word on the street in the Tampa Bay area is that Javonte is that Mike Evans will be coming back to Tampa Bay on probably a reduced amount of money, which is sort of interesting. All right. Well, I'm gonna be playing some quarterback hokey pokey here, and I could maybe end on the wrong side of the board. Well, so this is actually interesting. I want to get your guys' opinions on this. If Evans comes back, Igbuka is probably too expensive right now, correct? So it just depends on which Igbuka you believe. Do you think Igbuka is the guy from the first 6 games last year? Because if he is, then Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Jalen McMillan, these guys like don't matter. They're like immaterial. If Igbuka is the guy who he was in the back half of the season, I think it doesn't matter what his teammates are. I just think he's not very good. Like Igbuka, if we look at the ESPN wide receiver analytics, which is like I mean, I wouldn't say that this stuff is like gospel, but Emeka Igbuka was right next to Xavier Worthy and Jonnu Smith and Darnell Mooney in ESPN wide receiver score. Same wide receiver score as Jahan Dotson and Tyler Lockett. Like the dude, the dude flat out played bad. I mean, I think what happened is he hurt his hamstring and was just never right. Yeah, I mean, I think the real answer with Igbuka is that it's much more in the middle. You know, I mean, I think, yeah. Shout out, Ema. Me and Tyler Lockett, were in the Okay, this is very funny from Brad. Why didn't I name the guy who was right next to Emeka Egbuka in ESPN score? I wonder why I didn't say the name of the guy who was right. It's impossible to say. Why didn't I why didn't I it's just there's really just no way of knowing why I didn't mention that guy. Yeah, a lot of them are banged up. The offensive line got banged up. What's the name of their really good tackle? Werfs missed the first 4 games of the season. Wow. And look at this, folks. We were rewarded. We got the Dipperino, took Mahomes at pick 95. We're playing the hits here. It's true. Many such cases. Now, do I actually just get ahead of this quarterback nonsense? Because everyone in this draft is taking like a billion quarterbacks. I think I'm just gonna get ahead of it. I think I'm just gonna take Baker Mayfield here. Because look at this. Look at how these quarterbacks, like Jordan Love just went, Stafford went, Purdy went at 90. Everyone was like getting their guys at quarterback. So I'm just gonna take Mayfield there. Igbuka versus Tate versus Tyson versus Lemon versus Watson. Yeah, I mean, and it feels like that's a really rich pocket of the draft, you know? But you're gonna have to get those right. I actually think that there's actually an argument that this is the market behaving appropriately. Like it feels like getting good quarterbacks is way better than drafting Denzel Boston or Stephon Diggs or Dalton Kincaid or whoever. Like the quarterback scoring a little bit more important. Remember, hey, no, Mahomes was really good. Mahomes was the quarterback too in fantasy and points per game last year. That's a true stat, by the way. Didn't make that one up. Quarterback points per game. So obviously he tore his ACL and didn't finish this game. So he actually, wow, look at that, 21.1, 21.1, 21.1. But Mahomes was the quarterback two in points per game last year. So I think my professional opinion would be that Mahomes is still good for fantasy. Now, a lot of this did come from rushing, and the rushing production is obviously, I don't think, going to be near as good this upcoming season when he is returning from his torn ACL. So I don't think Mahomes is like horribly priced or whatever. Well, I think his torn ACL is going to keep the price down. Shuck is like a really good fantasy pick, I think. I'm pretty, you know what? I take Tyler Shuck a lot on drafters. I'm in like 30 drafter slows right now. Maybe honestly, maybe even more. I'm in how many of these am I in? I'm in a lot of drafter slows. And I've been taking Shuck a lot over on drafters because he's at a nice pocket. Chuck was really, really good for fantasy, man. He runs. He has a really good offensive line. I would assume he will get at least one wide receiver upgrade this year. See, I was going to say I agree with Nick. Like I think they're almost a lock to get at least one wide receiver coming in this year. They could definitely take they could totally be the team that takes Mekhi Lemon or Tyson. I mean, I think Tate is probably going to be gone by then, but I think they could certainly be in that market. They could take Sadiq. They could be they could reunite Juwan Johnson at Oregon. They could reunite. I mean, Shuck was certainly great for a quarterback drafted in the second round, but I think, yeah, I mean, even kind of where did Shuck end up in quarterback EPA per play? I honestly don't even know. Would not surprise me if he had a better EPA per play than Trevor Lawrence, actually. That would just be, if he did, that'll be a really funny bit, and I should tweet it. Did he not? Actually, he was not as good as I thought. 0.029 EPA per play, which was like, who's that tied next to? That's like about as good as Rodgers was last year. Well, I'm definitely not taking Khalil Shakir. We know that's not happening. All right, so we'll take Chris Godwin then. We didn't take Shakir, we could take Godwin. Sorry, sidekick. You can't make me do it. Tight end, Shakir, Marks. I don't really these guys, this is a very, very underwhelming part of the draft. You know what? Let's do Brenton Strange. Sure. Brenton Strange. Why not? I don't know. I kind of panicked there. I just did not want Khalil Shakir. No, I am an Emmett Johnson guy. Did you not watch the I guess no one watched it. My video on Saturday did not do well. The 2026 running back sleepers finding the next Kyron Williams video, but I did like 4 minutes on Emmett Johnson. And the slap model is big on Emmett Johnson. Damn, Trey Benson would have been a good pick there. I need to do a ranking refresh. I just popped out some DraftKings rankings for those of you guys who are doing DraftKings best ball. Those are over on patreon.com/DavisManic. Some pretty obvious values to be had there. Yeah, have you guys seen this Kevin Durant stuff? This Kevin Durant burner account. Like basically there's this Kevin Durant burner account that was shitting on all of his teammates. Pretty wild stuff. Like just like all these just taking it to Steph. Guy, of all the people who need to spend less time on the internet, Kevin Durant, not that I'm in a place to tell people to spend less time on the internet, but Kevin Durant should for sure spend less time on on the internet. There you go. All right. Well, some of the people liked the video. It just did not. I honestly like. I thought it was a good video, and it did not get very many views. I thought the running back sleepers video was pretty good, but I don't know. Love. Do we think that I don't think Jeremiah Love going to the Saints is a good idea for them. Just my take. I don't think it's that good of an idea. They did. Hey, they did. I'll say they did fix the All-Star game though. The All-Star game was very good last night. I enjoyed it. Had dinner over at my in-laws' house last night and turned it on. It was good. I guess it was a bad morning, a bad weekend for a Saturday morning release, but gotta lock that in because I do want to have videos coming out on the every weekend, but I gotta figure out the right time for it. Yeah, I mean, what Kawhi scored like 31 points in a row. I had never seen I haven't seen Kawhi play like that in forever. It was awesome. I don't know how they got those guys. Well, I know how they got those guys to play hard because the American guys uh do not like Jokic, they do not like Doncic, and they do not like Wemby. I think the American guys really take offense by how much everyone loves Luka, Jokic, and Wemby. Like I think I do think it was they were just like enough of these fat Eastern Europeans. Like why do we have to let Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic and Victor Wembanyama be the face of the league? Wemby's not fat, but Jokic and Doncic are. All right, damn. Kanye West Kanye West sniped me on Gainwell. That sucked. That was who I wanted there. Some ADP Dipperino on Gainwell and JCM there. Karain, I'm not taking Alvin Kamara here. Am I? Am I taking Alvin Kamara here? I can't, right? I'll take Tyrone Tracy. I've got 0 Tyrone Tracy, so there you go. There's a way to even up my exposures. Obama was at the All-Star game? There you go. I mean, do whatever you can because an All-Star game where guys try is awesome. Any All-Star game where guys are actively trying is very fun. This is a great Mark Andrews team. How is Mark Andrews the tight end 18? Do people think that Isaiah Likely is still on the team? Well, Sean Tucker is also a free agent. Sean Tucker is a restricted free agent as well. Some sneaky backfields were like a running back too. Like the Buccaneers could let Sean Tucker and Rashad White walk, and they could take Emmett Johnson, and Emmett Johnson could be the new Rashad White. Dude, Charlie Collar's not even on the Ravens still. Charlie Collar's not even on the Ravens. Do you take streaming dollars and put it in your DK account, or is it a separate budget? I mean, how much dollars are you throwing into best ball this summer? Well, Matthew, I'm going to be 100% honest with you, and it's not going to be the answer you want to hear. But because I'm not a very big streamer, I think you could call me a mid-tier streamer. Most of the deals that I do with these sites like Underdog and DraftKings and others, they don't want to pay me real cash because I'm not worth it. So what they will do is, in order for me to feature their product, they pay me in site credit, which is basically monopoly money to them because what does it matter? What does it matter to them? So they just put promotional funds in my account. So most of my drafts are done with promo funds. Not all of it. Certainly not all of it, because I'm gonna draft 3,000 fantasy football teams this offseason. Maybe more. I mean, maybe we even get to more than 3,000. Damn, yeah. I should have taken Tyreek. I should have taken Tyreek there. That would have been a good pick. Is there even such thing as an A tier best ball streamer? Yeah, ever heard of Mason Dodd, bro? Ever heard of Fantasy Flock? That's an A tier best ball streamer. I mean, he might even be I would say he might even be I would say my guy Flock might even be he might even be S tier, actually. Peter is an A tier best ball streamer, I would say. I would say Peter and Flock. How many teams am I currently at? Honestly, I do not know. I'm probably at about 200 right now. That 200 sounds about right, but a lot of these are slow drafts because I've realized that slow drafts they're actually because I'm a new dad, so slow drafts are a great way for me to um like basically not be on my phone all the time because I can do like little blocks of the day where I can go sit down and draft like while uh my son is like sleeping or whatever. I can pull up the sidekick and just knock some out. We need a running back. Let's go a rookie here. Let's add some youth in here. Let's take Katron. I don't know. My sidekick just shut down. Smitty? I might not know him. I might not be hip to Smitty. Um is there a quarterback that makes sense here? I'd really like to take Malik Willis on this team, but I can probably wait and take another quarterback. Oh, I got Mahomes. Let's take Kelsey. So got Strange, Andrews, Kelsey. I mean, Mark Andrews, Travis Kelsey, same team. Beautiful. I don't know who this Smitty is being referenced. If this is a joke, if this is like uh ASU frat leader frame mogging clavicular while jester gooning, I don't know. It's above me. Or it's above my pay grade in the sense that I don't know what it is. Okay. Well, how am I gonna finish here? Maybe only one more running back. Definitely need to. I might even need 9 wide receivers on this team to start starting with one because of the bye week stuff. It's true. It's true. Patrick Barnes YouTube. He might be the undercover goat. Smitty is fantasy football show, and he had like a 3 of 150 advance rate. I don't know who this is, but shout out to him, whoever he is, because you guys know who he is. So that means he's probably bigger than me. What did I? What? All right. Something is wrong with my sidekick settings, so I'm flying blind right now. I don't. What is the fantasy football show? The fantasy football show. 37,000 YouTube subscribers. My God. They get. Wow, they have a lot more subscribers than me, but they don't have that many more views than me. Interesting. But they do a video every day. Okay. Well, shout out to them. Fantasy headliners-esque, very normie. Well, hey man, let me tell you, if you can get to the normie market in fantasy football, you can succeed. The normie fantasy football market is huge. Like I was talking to Mason the other day. For like every 1,000 people that play redraft, there's probably one person that plays best ball, I would think. Damn, I was gonna take Omar Cooper Jr. on this team. Um, you know what? Calvin Ridley is a good addition here. Just some safe points. So like getting into the normal fantasy football market is massive. It really is. Do I want to do? You know what? I'm just gonna take Aaron Rodgers here. Rodgers is a good third quarter. Like Rodgers is pretty steady for a third quarterback. I could win too if I drafted 3,000 best ball teams. Well, we're gonna test it. We are gonna test it. The normie fantasy football population has got to be close to the population of China and India combined. I mean, I would guess it's at least 100 million people who engage with some kind of redraft fantasy football content across the world. 100 million, you think? Like, because people play fantasy football in other countries, so it's not just America, right? They play it in Canada. They play it in other countries, right? They play it in the United Kingdom. They play it in Australia, I'm sure. I mean, the NFL is huge. I think it's got to be pretty big. The Audible is I've been on that show. The Audible is some of the first fantasy football content that I ever consumed. The Audible is a great show. I'm a huge fan of all those guys. I don't know if I've ever joined a sleeper dynasty draft that didn't have someone non-US. Yeah, it's a big audience. It's a big audience, and I love you guys, and I loved. I'm fuck, dude. We're drafting best ball teams on February 16th. Like I'm all in. I'm all in on this, but I'm going to have to do something to widen the funnel. Right, the funnel is going to have to get a little wider, and I don't know if it's going to be on this channel or a second channel. It's probably gonna be a second channel, but we're gonna have to widen the funnel a bit. It's true. It's Rusty. I mean, it sounds so stupid, but I do legitimately agree with this. Like I don't want to dilute the art. I want to be who I am. But I think I mean, as Salted God very kindly is saying, you know, the key to fantasy football content is being entertaining. I think that you know, the idea of bringing a more analytical, lighthearted take to fantasy football content, you know, I think there's room for it. And I've learned so much about YouTube and stuff. Like I think with a larger audience, with a more engaging subject material, I think I could do okay. Or I could just do this. Why don't I just win Best Ball Mania? I mean, that would solve a lot of problems, Joel. It would solve a lot of problems. I mean, think of the stuff we could pay Zach Lenars to do if if we won $2 million. We could pay Zach Lenars to do a lot of stuff. Okay. I do think I need probably one more rookie running back on this team. Maybe not. Actually, we're gonna take my king, Brashard Smith. So Mahomes, Baker, Rodgers, Barkley, Henry. We need another receiver. I have one rookie wide receiver. You know what? I'm gonna keep slapping Zachariah Branch. That guy is just so in my wheelhouse. Uh Projected odds I hit BBM finals this year. Whatever the math odds are. What was my highest scoring best ball team this year? I don't know. How would you even measure that? like most points in the end. I can look at my Oh, is this gone or is this just BBM finals? Finals. I don't even remember I don't even remember what contests I had. I don't know how to find the view anymore. I think I think it's gone. Can't tell you. Can't tell you what my best scoring one was. I had a really good I had a really good team in one of the puppies. I don't remember which puppy it was. I think maybe puppy 2, and it was a really, really good team. Actually, I finished like 110th in the big board last year. So shout out to me. Didn't win like Goods did. Yeah, Branch is definitely a short king. Branch is in the gang. 7th in the corgi. That's a salute for me. Now, someone did have a good idea, which is have I thought about just frame mogging clavicular? I'm saying, bro, I'm in the gym every morning, 5 a.m. My 5 semifinal BBM teams lost by combined less than 85 points, 4 second places, no final teams. I mean, it's not a fun life. One way to widen the funnel, make more people aware of best ball. Most people don't know they can draft pretty much year round, market the potential winnings, leverage AI for market angles. That's actually, honestly, that's actually kind of sharp. Yeah, like there are probably people who are pretty obsessed with fantasy football who actually don't know they could draft a fantasy football team right now for real money. That's actually I that's actually really I honestly have really never thought of it that way. That is like a really good that's a really good thought. Mm, well, how I just like I from a normie perspective, I get this, but like how does it even work? Like how does this even work that you won't let anyone forget bad takes? I mean, I'm going to have more bad takes in this stream than you could even imagine. Like I've already said 17 things on this stream that are going to be wrong by like May. I don't know. It's hard to introduce probabilistic thinking. There you go. Arlocks, he didn't even know. He didn't even know you could draft in the big board, bro. All right. What am I going to finish here? Do I need another running back? I feel like I might need another wide receiver. Barkley, Harvey, Ramondre, Tracy, Katron, Burchard is pretty strong. I mean, it's just the double Tampa Bay bye weeks that are kind of getting me. And I can't get I cannot get the sidekick to load. I don't know what I did to it. But I wish it would tell me what to do right now. Do I take a running back or a wide receiver? I mean, Katron and Burchard are probably zeros. Yeah, we're gonna take another running back. Actually, you know what? This is probably a pretty good team to take Najee. Just someone steady. There you go. Just watch Ted Hurst. He's pretty good. He is pretty good. All right, boys, we drafted Patrick Mahomes, Baker Mayfield, Aaron Rodgers, Saquon Barkley, RJ Harvey, Ramondre Stevenson, Tyrone Tracy, Katron Allen, Brashard Smith, Najee Harris, Puka Nakua, Rashi Rice, Carnell Tate, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Calvin Ranch, Calvin Ridley, Zachariah Branch, Brenton Strange, Mark Andrews, and Travis Kelsey. What's your favorite best ball format? Do you like the underdog type or drafters? I mean, I think they all have their pluses and their minuses, honestly. I I'll say something I like about the marathon format, which is the fast draft format as well, by the way, is marathon format. And the drafts are very quick. So something I like about these formats is that it allows you to just focus on league winners, like Jonathan Taylor from last year, or I don't know. Why am I already forgetting who was good last year? Javonte Williams, like guys like that from last season were so important in the marathon style contests. They were like ultra relevant. So I do like that. But I mean, obviously the sweat of like, oh my god, like I almost made the basketball finals. I need 3 more points from Bijan Robinson. Like it's an unrivaled sweat out there. Uh should we cook a pick 'em up here? Yeah, JSN. Yeah, so if you drafted Jonathan Taylor, JSN, and Derrick Henry last year in the marathon, like you were just absolutely cooking. Yeah, you know what? Let's get I got a 60% profit boost. Let's see. Oh, but I don't, well, maybe not. Do we have soccer? Ooh, Champions League is tomorrow? I actually don't care that underdog is only half PPR. I actually think that's totally fine. Damn, okay, soccer is tomorrow. All right, let's go. What is Vinicius Jr. to record a goal? Let's take Vinny against Benfica to score. Nope. Soccer. Ooh, no. Well, Masters best ball is live. Is it? PGA. What is Masters best ball? You mean the Albatross? Or do they have something on DK? I played in this last week, by the way. I did the Underdog Open last week. I'm probably gonna do that again this week. I thought it was pretty fun. I did not know that we had Champions League tomorrow. PSG. We'll do Usman Dembele. And who's our third leg gonna be? Karabag versus Newcastle. Ooh. And I don't love any of the ones there. Yeah, you are wrong. It's just the Genesis Invitational. Actually, let's just do these all for tomorrow. What is Girassi's number? 1.09x. What can I get? Can I get? We'll do Marco Kineski. Bang. We'll do 20 to win 1275. There you go. There's a little Champions League sweat for you guys tomorrow. Bada bing, bada boom. All right. I'm going to get out of here, boys. Make sure that you liked. Oh, I didn't even realize I was wearing my Dortmund jersey. Make sure that you like the video. Make sure you are subscribed for daily fantasy football content. And I will be back with all of you guys tomorrow.